Why is my double chin disappearing? A little bit weird. I'll... Professional start to the stream. How are you all doing? Green reflection from the monitor. That's probably it. That's true. So I have to lean a little bit back, which is no problem. This game has controller support. How are you all doing? Hello Violet. Hello Fizz. I saw Blacko is here. Thank you for the host, Asha Bellana, and welcome, Mademoiselle Danielle. You are in time. Today is a little bit of an indie day. I mentioned it during yesterday's Yakuza stream. This week is going to be a little bit different in terms of streaming, but every now and then I like to do things a little bit different and try out some new things. Today we will be playing the first Tree, a nice little indie game that I have no idea about, but it looks very nice and I wanted to check it out. I looked it up. It is about 2 hours long, so when I'm finished with the first Tree, we won't end the stream. No, we will do a short break and then I will switch over to the first, the Banner Saga. I played the Banner Saga before, but I forgot most of them, and I played a little bit of the second one, but I haven't finished the second one. And the third one I haven't played at all, and I do want to finish that series because I really liked the first game when I played it. Well, it just ate perfect. Hope it was delicious. Yeah, that sounds a bit weird, Blacko. I hope you can figure it out. That sounds strange, Blacko. I hope everything goes well. But now, I'm excited to check out the first Tree. I don't know what this game is really about. I stayed away from every explanation. I just saw that it looks interesting, and I wanted to do some indie games every now and then, and just to mix it up, just to do something new, something fresh, something exciting. So I'm very excited to check that out. Rubber pasta. That sounds interesting, Violet, but I hope that it was good. But now, as I lean back to not get the green reflection from the game, let me know how the sound is, because there's no sound option in the game. So just let me know if there are any issues so I can fix it outside of the game with some magic. But other than that, I would like to start the game. So are you guys ready? Hello Tropy, how are you doing? Let's start the first Tree. I think we are a fox. Can neither confirm nor deny yet. I played music from the original soundtrack during the intro, and
are you awake?
Sounded very good.
I thought I heard you get up.
Yeah, I'm awake. Sorry, I just can't sleep.
Are you thinking about him?
Yeah, a bit. Usually get back to sleep, my love. I'm fine.
No, it's okay. What else is on your mind?
I don't know. It seems weird, but I had one of the most vivid dreams of my life. I saw a fox on a snowy mountain, just looking confused and worried. Those eyes. I can't get those eyes out of my head. She was running in the windy snow, looking for something.
Do you think it has to do with you and what's been going on?
I don't know. It was just a dream, Rachel. They're not meant to make sense. A lot's happened the past couple days, that's all.
Well, if you're not going to sleep anyway, you should tell me. I want to hear.
All right.
Okay, so we are a fox, and it seems like it is about a dream. The guy had a dream about a fox on a snowy mountain. With Wolf's Rain? I don't know anything about Wolf's Rain. But so far it looks pretty nice. It has a nice atmosphere. The atmosphere reminds me a little bit of What Remains of Edith Finch. What? Oh, double jump. Ooh! Flying fox! Where's Star Fox? I'm not sure how much exploration is in this game. And I will try to not talk too much over the atmosphere, because I think that will be one of the strong suits of the game. Nice, relaxing atmosphere. Also, yes, please don't burn your house down, Violet. That would be nice. Oh, is that a fox baby? Can I interact with it?
So, not far from her home, she followed that path to something unexpected.
Oh. That fox baby. Oh. Is this going to be sad?
She couldn't stay, though. She had to find her other 2 children. So she took that path. She followed it towards something ancient. Something with answers.
I'm not ready either.
The fox looked high and low, searching for any sign of her cubs. Points of light showed the way to this ancient tree. It was as if each one had a story to tell, all their own. The land was trying to tell my story, too. I felt like I was right behind her the whole time.
I really like the music so far. Ooh, I will try it, Asha. I leave the music a little bit louder than usual today, just because I feel like I won't be talking as much as usual, and I wanna let the game do its magic. But let me know if it's too loud. Could be valid, yeah. I have a feeling we will get a lot of feels. It's a bit loud for me. Let's do it like this. But yeah, I also have the feeling that this game might play with our feelings a little bit, since we already found a dead fox baby. Is there a term for fox baby? Is it like a fox cub or a foxy? A fox cub? Okay. What's this? I like the art style of it. Okay.
Do you remember what my dad did for a living?
Wasn't he like a lumberjack?
That's one way of putting it. If wood was a canvas,
Okay.
and a carving knife was his paintbrush. Even after working a 50-hour week, even after his hands were more splinters than skin, he would bring home the nicest piece of Alaskan weeping cedar and make me toys. That wooden train was the first toy I can remember, and I loved it. I just knew from a young age I was going to be a lumberjack, like my father.
Okay. The jumping looks a bit funny, I have to say. Whee! Kids? I don't know. Could be. Fox kids? Kid Fox? Could be, because the other there's the developer studio that did what did they do? They did Shrouded Isle and which other game that I played? But they are called Kid Fox games, so maybe.
Usually
see what we
those
have here.
kids would leave me alone, but somehow they could tell I was different. They
Tank.
made fun of how far away I lived. They called my dad a sourdough. I was a blabbermouth as a kid, telling my dad stories I made up for hours. But after that show and tell, I didn't tell him much
Hello,
anymore.
Carla.
He didn't know exactly
How
what
you
was
doing?
wrong, but his best guess was that the toys he carved weren't cool enough. He carved me a tank and tried to tell me what it was like to be in a real tank
Whoa.
as a serviceman.
I didn't know your dad was in the military.
Yeah, in the army. The sad thing is that I've pretty much forgotten until just now. There's so much I still don't know about him.
I'm sorry. He knows how much you love him. You're going to see him again soon and have some closure, for sure.
Yeah, that really reminds me of What Remains of Edith Finch. Just the search for answers about the parents. Okay, we have a duck here. Looks beautiful. What do you mean, Danielle? The way what was said? Edith Finch? Oh yeah, I see. Work really drops my stream watching schedule. I think I'm going to have to catch the lot as the buffer is terrible right now. Oh, I'm very sorry to hear that, Hypatia. But yeah, I hope you can catch up with it. I know that you were interested in this game. But thank you for stopping by. Hope you have a good work day. Oh, what do we have here? A school bus? Can we do something here? Whoa! The jumping mechanic is a bit weird. But also, it's a lot of fun. Boing! Yeah, I have a feeling we will all shed a tear here, at the very least. I'm very sorry about that you can't watch it, Hypatia. That's a bummer. What do we find here?
The more I withdrew, I asked myself, why talk to anybody anyway? Why bother when I'm happy by myself? I started drawing a lot, mostly animals I saw in the woods by my home. I then imagined designing my own hideouts with things like TVs and pantries full of chips and cookies. I think that idea of leaving home and drawing blueprints started my career. I found a lot of solace in that.
I'm not surprised, but I did the same thing, you know? There's something special about having a place to call your own.
And now look at us. Well, if you count renting in an overpriced city.
It's as close as we can get for now.
Like, I wonder if he is like deathly sick. That we're talking to him on his deathbed or something like that. It will probably something heart-wrenching like that. What is this? It's a little shed. Oh. Okay. Doesn't seem like I can do anything with it. There's a swing, the baseball cap. So as it is with dreams, the dream world and the real world kind of blend into each other. I wonder for what we need these light crystal. If it unlocks paths or stories. It's one of those games where I don't want to miss anything. because I do want to hear those stories, and I'm not sure if you can miss something or if you have to find everything or how it works, but of course I want to know what's going on, and I want to know what these memories are about and how it ties together. Back there is the tank. Okay, oh, and this is where we found the little train. So let's go back first. Don't have a map. School books. Toy airplane. Okay, what do we have here?
As a kid, did you ever do show and tell in your class?
Yeah, I think I only did it once, when I was in the 4th grade. You know how my life was around then. I wanted to show my class what helped pass the time and distracted me. So I brought a dozen paper cranes I had made. I think I told everyone how badly I wanted to be a bird and fly, embarrassingly enough.
Don't be embarrassed. Every kid wants to fly. For me, it was another toy from my dad, a wooden boat. I remember guarding it so carefully in my hands as I walked into class. When I sat down, a group of boys immediately made fun of it. They asked which trash can I found it in, or why an ugly log was my favorite toy. When I got up, I didn't even want to tell them my dad had carved it. I said it was a joke gift my friends had given me.
Oh.
Kids can be so cruel.
No, we don't, Colin.
Some of them are. I shouldn't have let them get to me, but it did. It's amazing we bounced back at all.
We heard in the beginning that he is telling her about a dream he had, where he was a fox and he was on a snowy mountain. So we are basically playing his dream. Exactly, Daniel. Did they tell a name? If so, I forgot as well. Okay. Loading. Ooh. Yes. Colin, we're looking for the next part. We're looking for parts of his dream or memories of him. It's very open for now what it's about. True, there were we heard that there are 2 more baby foxes and that the fox mother wants to look for them. Rocket. Flying on, Fox. No! God damn it. I really like the art style. It is kind of minimalistic, but at the same time has a pop arty flair to it. The overcoloration is very good. Hello Lupinia, welcome to the stream. We're playing a Loopy, little Foxy. Are you the fox mother? Maybe we have finished the game then. What's this? Camera, surveillance camera, okay. See, Danielle, it is not my completionist urges not only come up when we're doing sexy photo shoots in Yakuza. Oh, that looks like an interrogation table. The man and a woman. Are we criminals? Did we kill our parents? Now my theories start to... So we have definitely a man and a woman here. Or a man and Adam Driver, Kylo Ren. Hard to say. But... could be us.
He was working another late night, and my friends were over, saying how bored they were and how they had come all the way out to my house for nothing. One of them mentioned how that old, ugly beyond belief truck was still in the garage, and how we should take it for a spin.
Oh boy.
I was only 15, so I kind of fought it for a while. The next thing I knew, we were careening around the mountain path, rocks spitting onto the sides of the cliff, while my dad's cringeworthy bluegrass blared out the speakers. I drove while my friends were in the back of that yellow and purple truck, throwing beer bottles and trash at anything remotely interesting. Felt like I was soaring in the air with borrowed wings. But all good things have endings. A cop outside of Eagle River pulled us over after he saw us in a bottle rocket into someone's yard. What followed was a long night of talking to disappointed adults and feeling smaller than ever.
What's this? That's something different. We collected butterflies. What? Oh, they're gone now. No, 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 no. Don't go away. So that happened when I jumped. So maybe I need that to jump higher? Oh, yes. I see. Okay. Music is really beautiful. Ooh, what's this? Okay. Anything up here? Before I drop down?
After he drove me home from the police station, I blew up at him, saying how I never wanted to be like him, how I was gonna be someone and leave that hick icebox for good. He just looked forward at the road with tired eyes. I took out that bluegrass tape from the cassette deck and chucked it out the window. In my sage teenage wisdom, I thought I proved the ultimate point. But my dad had a different idea. He slammed the brakes, slowly bowed his head while gripping the steering wheel, and finally looked at me. All he said, like it was a polite request, was, "Make this right." I sat there in silence, fuming, but I eventually got out and combed every square inch of the woods, muttering profanity after profanity. I found it 30 minutes later, near a small waterfall off the road. I went back to the truck, put the wet tape back in, and sure enough it worked. We didn't speak another word to each other the rest of the night.
Wow, I knew you were a crazy teenager, but...
It's hard to believe, isn't it? It surprises me too. It's like I didn't really know who that kid was back then. I bet my dad thought the same thing over and over. It's almost like he was saying, "Make this right," to himself, more than to me.
Interesting. Welcome back, Toby. Maybe I can get up there with some butterfly help. Oh, come on, come on, come on, come on. Yep. That's the truck, I assume. Nothing behind the waterfall? Ugh. Oh, wet fox. There's something underneath. Oh, there is something. $50 stars. Killing it on our journey with the fox. Barbershop, okay. Oh, we need 3. Oh boy. Okay. all the butterflies. No. Okay, I have to pick this one first. And then get rid of it. Now, can I go up from here, or do I have to go up from the back and then drop down? Okay. All the butterflies.
My friends would laugh about that night and talk about how crazy it was, and I laughed along, pretending it didn't bother me. But it did. I imagined my friends growing old in the bush, unable to find that thrill in those godforsaken ice fields. It's like those mountains were a literal wall, keeping me from leaving, where all I would have to look forward to are lumber yards and evening beers. I had to climb over. That was my only goal for a long time.
Okay.
If there was some way I could take my love of drawing and turn it into a way of escape, nothing would make me happier. I wanted to create instead of tearing trees down. I wanted to move to the lower 48, not because I hated it there in Alaska, but I hated the idea of it. It's like all of that spite inside me had created this monster which followed me around my whole teenage years. I put so much energy into doing what others didn't expect of me. Why did I do that?
There's one fact you're forgetting, though. If you didn't have that fire in you, we probably would have never met.
You're absolutely right. Maybe the destination is all that matters in the end. But then why am I awake? Why am I seeing this fox go on her journey? And why can't I stop thinking about my dad?
I feel like this could just as well be like an extension for one of the siblings from Edith Finch, you know? Okay. No music now? There's something. And the music is back.
My dad built a lot of stuff in his free time. If he wasn't watching fly fishing or reading Tom Clancy novels, he was carving something. He made tons of birdhouses. Not that he was into bird watching, but I think he really missed working and adding on to the home. If he couldn't afford the time to build onto our own house, he would have to settle with watching birds move into their little homes. We kept an old mattress in the bed of that ugly yellow truck, so we would drive it deep into the woods and then watch the birds fly into their houses while the sun set. Usually it was accompanied by venison jerky or a cold Coke, but not a lot of talking, which is how we both liked it.
Okay, we have a mattress here. Right now I'm thinking about if this game even needs like a crazy plot twist. Kind of like that, I don't know, that he's on his deathbed or anything. It would be kind of nice if it hadn't, now that I think about it. It would be just nice to have a story. I feel like oftentimes games, movies, books, series, etc. try a little too hard to come up with a surprising plot twist instead of just sometimes like a very basic story that is well told and intriguing is way better than something that completely surprises you or anything. And it doesn't even have to be something completely unique as long as it is relatable. I don't know, that's just my thought here. What's going on here? Zero out of 3? Oh! Oh, I did the... We have to do push-ups. Okay. Okay, a tent, sleeping bag. Now I'm a swole fox.
On our property, there were old abandoned pieces of a shed and car long left unused. I used to ask him all the time who those people were that left all this junk, and I'm sure he got so tired of hearing it that he made up some elaborate stories how a brown bear ate them and haunted the woods afterwards. What's funny is I think it made those people seem more real. Growing up thinking they were still hanging out like they couldn't say goodbye. I used to tell my friends how I could swear I saw spirits move near the water, and that always freaked them out. I guess it didn't bother me, because the way I saw it, they were normal people with old cars and sheds, just trying to figure out how to survive and be happy in the middle of nowhere. It was a cool thought that they didn't want to leave, but you know, I was a weird kid.
Well, you had good company since those ghosts like living in a place where they were brutally devoured.
Blueprints, okay. Let's see if our push-ups paid off. Oop. Ah, missed one. Got it. Oh, I think we have to do more push-ups there. I kind of like this type of exploration, just very calm. There is something though. There is something. If I go here, although, might as well, now that I'm standing here, might as well do this in return, but did I do a thing? No.
Even at my most distant, at the times when I detested him the most, he kept reaching out. For a year straight, he asked me every week when we were going camping. I thought he was just dense. Eventually, to shut him up, I agreed. We carried out the worn lawn chairs from the garage and set up a cinder block campfire at the site we'd always used behind the house. We walked down the mountain path, talking in the warm sunshine we only got a couple months of the year. Those 3 obsidian rocks shimmered alongside the shore, almost like sparklers pressed against a dark window. I'll never forget that wet stone on my feet, or how those massive mountains looked even bigger in the lake's reflection. I felt small, but grateful. As the sun set, my dad found something I hadn't seen for a long time. The tree where I'd made my first carving when I was 6. I hadn't even carved it. My dad had helped me, but I still called it my tree. Something about seeing my name there made me open up, and we talked about everything that night in that old camouflage tent. I told him how much I loved sketching and design, and how it would be a dream to study architecture in Seattle. I told him how I didn't get along with my friends much anymore, but that I didn't mind being alone. He told me he was there for me, and he joked that if all he had to do was write my name on a tree to finally get me to talk, he would have left me carved logs with novels on them in front of my room every morning. I don't know why it took me that long to realize it, but it was then I knew how much he had sacrificed for me.
Or was there something else that I missed? I don't think so. So he clearly had a troubled relationship with his father. haven't fully explored the side where we were on first. Okay, so they still emit a light even after we do the push-up. And there's some more stars. There's a boat. Oops. Okay.
We were happiest underneath the evergreens. We decided it was time to finally map out the hundreds of acres we lived on just to pass the time during the summer. He was only free in the evenings, so I would spend the day wasting time on dial-up internet and sketching, and then we would rush into the woods,
dial-up
pen and
internet.
map in hand, before evening fell. Sometimes the aurora borealis would cast a cold green glow on the mountainside, and we would finish our route underneath a twilight sky. Sometimes I was lonely during those summer days, but there was comfort in the routine.
A lot of teenagers aren't looking for the daily grind, though. There's nothing wrong with wanting to get out, to leave your childhood home. You wanted to progress, to make something of yourself.
Yeah, you're right. That house. I'm sure it's the same as how I left it. But then why does it feel so different?
I doubt you're the only adult to have looked back and asked that question.
Oh, there was another push-up place. The third one. Okay, now those ranks open that we saw. And I guess now we can continue. The exploration and progression feels pretty intuitively. It's very relaxing. Reverse shelter? I don't know what you mean. I'm in a game called Shelter. Haven't played that then. I'm definitely intrigued by where this is going. Shall I play a badger feeding her pups? I mean, in a way that we as the fox mother are still looking for our 2 other childs, but this is clearly more about the guy and the girl. Blacko just said something, but there was something that I saw earlier that Twitch tweeted out that there are some issues with chat, so I don't know. But it might just be that it's quiet. I mean, it's a very relaxing game. Maybe a little bit too quiet of a game for some. So maybe try refreshing the chat if there are any issues. Not sure if Twitch fixed that. And if anyone said something and I didn't see it, I'm sorry, but if I didn't respond, then it's probably because I just didn't see it on my screen. Oh, what's that? Is that a
The
wolf?
perpetrator stood nearby, unfazed, like nothing was wrong. My dad is dead, and he's never coming back, Rachel. I can tell you these stories, but I can never reminisce with him again. He can never hold a grandchild that we'll probably never be able to have. I can never talk to him again, and I'll never be able to say I'm sorry for everything.
So the dad died. Found our second kid. Oh, never, Danielle. So 2 of our
You really are
babies
fond
are
of chatting with me, aren't you? If I didn't know better, I'd think you had feelings for me.
99 Luftballons.
Thank you, Wintermong, for the resub. Thank you so much for your support. Welcome back, Winter. How are you doing today? We are a fox at this very day. That is weird, Blacko. So it seems like the wolf killed our 2 children. 1 children left. Ugh. Ooh, the music is beautiful. Yeah, the dad died. So I assume since he said he returned to the house and it feels different, although nothing changed, I assume they returned for the funeral or something. Maybe they are right now at his old home. Oh, really like this music. This is great. The song is great. Love it. F for dead. Exactly. It's a really beautiful game. Like visually and in terms of its tone. Hello, Christopher! That's very nice to hear that you love your coffee mug, that for fuck's sake, it's morning coffee mug. Thank you for ordering. Hope you have a wonderful day, Odd. Well, we are foxing around.
I just can't talk about this anymore. Good night.
All the mods. Winter Morgan. Okay. So soon we will get to another area. Soon. Still have to find a third child. Hopefully we can save it. Okay, there we go. Okay, so the dead is dead. As well as our two fox babies. Oh boy, where are we now?
Joseph, you can't go to
Joseph.
sleep feeling like this. I'm sorry for everything, and I know you need space, but I'm here for you. You don't need to feel so lost. Joseph, have I ever told you what my mother was like?
What do we have here? Deer?
You know what it's like not to have a mom at home. And you know how hard that made my childhood. What helped me was watching the birds in the morning before the school bus came. I thought that my mother was one of those birds. And it made me want to be free like her. My mom taught me how to fold origami cranes while she was in the hospital. So I told myself I would fold one every day until I could fly myself.
I really am, Danielle.
I think we both have always loved animals. And for me, that love started with a dog. Sometimes this Rottweiler would come up to our property line and wait at the fence for me, but only once in a while. I was sure to check every day immediately after school, and it usually ended in disappointment. I would even steal money from my passed-out dad just so I could buy these off-brand dog biscuits. Even when she did stop by, she never went beyond the fence. Why was she so scared? I think my dad was the opposite of your dad in almost every way, except he was in the military as well. He coped with alcohol of every kind. The trailer started falling apart, he got angry, and I withdrew. More and more I became the weird, quiet kid who made lots of origami birds and carried dog biscuits around. I think we were pretty similar when it came to being the weird kids. And that same sincerity in college was one of the reasons I was so drawn to you. Life got worse and worse. And at one point, I really didn't think I could survive another day with my soul still intact. I had no real friends, let alone neighbors, since we lived in the middle of nowhere. I should have talked to my teacher, but I was scared what he would do if he found out. As I waited for the school bus one morning, I walked around until I found something in an abandoned shed. Something I can't put into words.
Okay.
I summoned courage I didn't know I had, and I broke into my dad's room and found the key to the shed where he had locked my bike. I'll never forget that feeling of the wind rushing by my ears as the sun rose over fields of wheat. I was flying for the first time. I biked as far as my legs could take me until I found a house that felt friendly and that felt like home. Those strangers helped me in so many ways. And if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have found my foster family. And if it wasn't for my parents, I wouldn't have met you. You have strength, Joseph, and you're not as alone as you think.
It's all just so pointless. Just waiting for life to happen. It's like having the home I always wanted is cursed out of my reach. The thought of being a parent myself. How could I do that when I couldn't even be a good son? I'm sorry. I know what you're saying. I just don't know how things will work out. These quiet hours will turn into years. We'll wonder which roads passed us by.
Then we'll forge a new road together. Besides, I discovered for myself that one fateful morning where any hopeful road leads to. There may be thorns and mist, but it always leads to the same thing.
And what's that?
Family.
Aww.
I'm so glad that you're part of my family, Rachel.
And I'm glad you're part of mine.
That is very heartwarming. You're going to need counseling after this, Violet. I think what I really like about this is not a crazy story, right? Like, this is a very down-to-earth story. I think a lot of people will be able to connect to in some ways or another, which I really like. That it's not this extraordinary, fantastic story. That it is a story of everyone in a way, or at least a lot of people. A sound that could be our fox kit. It's a very relatable story so far.
The fox knew her last cub would be waiting for her at the first tree. She was almost there. The rain cascaded onto the jade.
Crafty Mod, hello, and thank you for the raid! The Crafty Raiders! Hello, Crafty, how are you doing? Welcome to the first tree! Very immersive little indie game that we are checking out today. Hello, Richie Mundo! How are you all? How was City Skylines? I lurked a little bit in your stream. Hid behind a corner of your wonderful city. You used my own emotes against me. It's very powerful, Richie. It was a lot of fun. Didn't really realize where the time went. Yeah, it's one of those games, right? Like where everything flies by and you get very sucked in. I enjoyed. I tried it out last week. I enjoyed it. It's just I need to spend a little more time with it, but I wouldn't rule out that I come back to City Skyline myself. Yeah, I think tissues will be important. We are in a pretty emotional but very relatable, down-to-earth story so far. We're playing a fox looking for the children, but most importantly, we hear about the story about a man who lost his father, who things about the past with his father, and the moments they shared, and at his side what we can assume is his girlfriend or wife. All right, Crafty, have a good night then. Get some sleep. Thank you for the raid. Oh, no, not X. No. Back to the game.
Valley where the entrance to the tree was. Life was protected there, because that's where life began. It was now only a mother and a daughter left. Items from my life still dotted the ground as she moved closer to her destination and destiny.
Sleep well, Crafty. Thank you for the raid and stopping by. Hope you sleep well.
At the end of high school, I felt something I hadn't felt in a long time. Drive. I looked into the best architecture schools on the West Coast, then got a dose of reality when looking at other students' portfolios and the high cost of tuition. I still wanted to be something, to be the next Alvaro Siza, and to make those thousands of sketches worth something in my grand history. But now even an internship sounds impossible. Siza helped me understand how essential emotion is in architecture, and he also said light is the real composer of space. I like to think these glints of light, like not finding a job or even a strange dream about a fox, are something I should be thankful for, even if the illuminated space is something I'm less than comfortable with.
It's a very interesting take. I feel like I can almost smell the wet fox fur. It is, yeah, I agree. It is strangely beautiful. Um, I'm not, I can't quite put my finger on it, but I mentioned it earlier that it has a very minimalistic style, but at the same time, like it works really well with colors and with very good music so far. So it creates a very nice atmosphere. And beautifully strange too, yeah.
My dad was super supportive with my college plans. To a point. Things were okay until this terrible accident happened. I guess a forklift flipped over due to a bad axle, and it crushed one of the workers there. My dad didn't eat for days, even though he wasn't
jeez.
directly involved. It devastated him. Not only did it hurt the business, but it just freaked him out. He would talk in his sleep, muttering things about firing people and saying sorry. One fateful day he approached me, said that since my school search wasn't going well, I should finally be a man and take over the family business. He said one day he was going to die, and that all of his work, sacrifice, and even that man's life would be wasted in vain. I just lost it. Teenage me just exploded at the thought. I screwed up. I said things I shouldn't have. He was having a crisis, and I pretty much spit in his face.
The gameplay is very minimalistic. Like there's not much to it. You just run around, collect stars, and then you dig up these memory elements to hear more about the story. So it's really about the story. In that sense, I compared it a lot to it so far. Obviously, the story is very different, and there are some changes, but it feels a little bit like Edith Finch, that you're progressing for the story to get more story elements, and there's not much of gameplay to it. It is more like a visual novel, if you will. But it works well, I think. For a game like that, some games, in my opinion, make the mistake that they add too much gameplay. Like, I don't know, crazy jump and run sections now with the fox would be just... It would take you out of the game, and it would take you out of the... out of what should be the focus of this game, and that is the story, that is the atmosphere. So I'm totally fine with a very minimalistic, very basic gameplay that works smoothly and gives you a little bit of exploration, but doesn't overdo it with, I don't know, puzzles or jump and run sections or stuff like that. Which they could have easily added without adding new elements, gameplay-wise, but it just wouldn't be fitting. How do I get up there, though? It's the joy of experiencing the game is the game. Exactly. That is very well put. That describes it very well. Not sure if you played Gone Home, for example. That is also very similar to it. The tone is very different, but it's very much about just seeing where the story takes you and going with the flow, immerse yourself a little bit in the game, take in the atmosphere, and just go for a fun ride for a couple of hours or so. Which is also why, for the most part, I took a step back. Don't want to talk too much over the game today. I feel like for me personally, this game makes a nice change of pace. Now this looks like progress.
Was that the last time you talked to him?
No, I called on holidays, and he would call on my birthday. I guess we acted like nothing ever happened, which was stupid. Didn't want to ask about his lumberyard, and I'm sure he didn't want to ask about my job search. I never went back and visited. I think the last conversation we had was about what movies we had seen and what exactly a best boy is in the credits. I thought he would be here so much longer.
It's weird, right? Like, you obviously never know when a loved one of you passes away. Like, it can happen at any moment, and obviously that is a frightening thought, but it also, I feel like it should be more of a reminder to cherish the time that you have, instead of like this looming threat. No? Congrats, Blacko. You did it. Did the thing. I wonder if something's over there at the house. It's kind of weird to think about, like, the people you value, the people that you love. What was the last conversation you had with them? To think about that could be the last one that you had. It's a weird thought, right? Because obviously you can't just always have sunshine and rainbows, and you always have some arguments, or like you're a little bit moody or something. So it can never be perfect, but it's an interesting thought. I feel that it just shows that, I don't know, that sometimes I think it's worth thinking about these things and take a step back and kind of reevaluate things for what they are worth, and think about that. Yeah, is it really worth an argument? Is it really worth to have this negative conversation? Or maybe sometimes we just should let it slide every now and then to move on, if it's not really impacting our relationship to that person. Yeah, that's a very good point, Danielle. That's probably a very good way to handle it. Oh, there's another star. Kinda want that star. Not even sure if I can check this out. Kinda get stuck on invisible walls here. So maybe this is just background. Yeah, I can't go there. But it gives me a good overview, so. Skyrim Fox, yes. Hello, Squidge in here. You're the shout of the day. So for those who have not checked out Squidge's channel, go do so. Give him a follow. Say hi. If you are not only into foxes, but also into all kinds of inhabitants of the sea. Cool fish and squids all together for a good time. I mean, sure, Blacko, but like that's not the point. Obviously, it's like at that point the relationship is a very tarnished one in general. It is more about with people you have a good relationship generally, that you also want to make sure that that you tell them that you appreciate them. That it's not about those that you have an actual hard time with. It's more about those that you do care and do have a positive relationship with. But sometimes the reminder to actually let them know that you care for them, even in the hard times. Oh, words are needed, Blacker. Don't underestimate the power of words. It's not only... It may just be a symbol, and it may just be symbolism, but it's important. And maybe not important in the moment, maybe not important tomorrow or a month later, but people do remember things, and even if it's not important to you, sometimes it's important to them. And if the person is important to you, sometimes speaking things out and putting them into words means much more than you might think. And timing can be important too, at least in my opinion. It's like sometimes the right couple of words in the right moment mean more than anything else. Because sometimes the most simple words, the most simple appreciation, the most simple compliment can mean the world in the right moment. Whereas any other day it would just be like a slight comment, just a little remark. But sometimes you just need to hear it. Although you may not even know that you need to hear it, but sometimes you need to hear it. Let me get coffee. I was not prepared for that. Yeah, this time kind of provokes some philosophical. Now I got my tongue untwisted. And obviously, it's only my opinion, Blacker. So there's no right or wrong. Everyone has to find their own way how to deal with things. So. Philosopher's Stone? Is that, I don't know, Narnia or something? We surprised Squid in his morning, waking up, and he lands in the middle of a philosophical discussion. Percy Jackoff. Right. There was him. Let me get some coffee. I have a feeling we're closing in on more emotions. And Squid made a good point with coffee before emotions and philosophy. So let's do that. See, Blacko, discussion over. Oh no! That goddamn wolf killed our last kid right in front of the first tree. Look at how sad the fox is.
In the distance, the first tree illuminated the wasteland. She couldn't go home anymore. She did the only thing she was capable of. Moving forward. My dad died alone in the middle of the wilderness. I should have been talking to him more. I should have done a lot of things differently.
If the first tree on Earth brought life with it, if it taught the birds to sing and fly and showed saplings how to grow, what could it do for us?
Hello, High Rock. Good points, good point.
There was a letter I received yesterday from a name I didn't recognize, with a quote I can't stop thinking about. Death is not the opposite of life, but a part of it. More and more, I'm realizing one important truth. Each of us have our own journey to the first tree, but sometimes I'm not sure I'm ready to take that first step.
You already have my love.
First tree awakens and gently asks if there is one last message the fox wants to tell her children. She replies back and says, "Oof." Oof. How about what he said in the end? Oh, the more light we got, the more we can say.
I guess her journey was over, but I have no idea. It was only a dream, a distraction from tomorrow.
I don't think dreams normally bring back to memory so many important feelings. Maybe it was just a dream, but it was also a gift.
Yeah, I suppose. But tomorrow we're getting on a plane to the last place on Earth I want to be. The only person that would have made the trip worth it is gone.
You're going to see him and be with him one last time before you say goodbye. I have one last quote for you by Emerson, sealed in an imaginary letter from me to you. It is the secret of the world that all things subsist and do not die, but only retire a little from sight and afterward return again. Go to sleep, my love. We have a big day tomorrow, but I'll be there with you every step of the way.
Thank you. Thanks for listening. Good night, Rachel.
Good night, Joseph.
Hello, Riz. Think that's it? Six months later, okay. Okay, that's Rachel, I would assume. We told them death is not the opposite of life, it's part of it. So I guess we're now here. Oh, okay. You can see the door. At our old home. It's very dark. Oh, I guess our old room. Yeah, Squid, I didn't know that we are all of a sudden in a horror game. But this is very much like Gone Home. I mentioned that game before. Okay, I didn't expect that. It was very dark. I couldn't see anything either. Just if you wondered. There are assets popping in and out. There's the swing we saw. Ah! Ghost rock! Whoa! That scared me. Who has a motion sensor on their garage door? Does that? So it's half a year later, and I guess we're still here. The house of our father. Oh, that seems to be progression, but I want to look in the other direction then. So it looks like we moved in here, or are we moving away? Oh, that's how it was great for zombie defense. Yeah, it looks very much like 7 Days to Die, right? Maybe. Okay. What's this? Oh! Ghost tree. I don't know in which direction to go. No trespassers. Okay, can't go here. Didn't have any problems with that with the fox. But here we have assets popping in left, right, and center. This is Resident Evil, yes. You have really long legs, yeah. Oh, there's the burnt down house that we talked about. Can we take... Can take the axe? Oh, we're just sitting down. Whoa.
What the hell?
What the fuck?
It's a fox! Hey, stop it. Are we now freezing in the cold? Pretty flowers, yeah. either is.
What is this?
It's Fox Mama with kiddos. That was the first tree. Like, literally and figuratively. I enjoyed this very much. It is a fun game. What do you think about the game? I thought it told a very engaging, very relatable story. Didn't overdo it. With some beautiful music, some an interesting art style. I enjoyed it. Obviously on Steam, the music is on a playlist on Spotify if you're interested. Really like the music. Would you like to anonymously submit your statement to the first tree to an online moderated database? It may appear randomly to other players. Oh, interesting. So our words could randomly... So I assume the message on the stone in the end was from one other player. You just need a hug, Violet? Yeah. I think we all need a hug. Let's do it. You really liked it, Danielle? There's the green again. That's how you fade into the void. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought it is a nice little journey with a nice story, great music, has a good atmosphere, and I think it is something if you just want to experience. It's like reading a short story. If you don't want to read a long book, you just want to have a nice little compact story to experience. This game is an option for that. Around about 2 hours of playtime to experience it and just have a nice little time with it. It is cute, yeah. So, but I will also say we're not done for today. I announced it in my Go Live message. I looked it up before how long this game will be, and so I knew it would be around 2 hours, and we're now a little bit over 2 hours with the stream, so it fits very well. And I will take a very short break. I will drink a